Michelangelo once said, "The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it's too low and we reach it." Welcome to Life Talk with Jesse Meester. As an international actor, entrepreneur, and world traveler with millions of followers, Jesse seeks to speak and learn from the most insightful, successful people in the world, sharing love and life together. This is Life Talk, and this is your host, Jesse Meester.
Welcome to another episode of Life Talk. I have the great honor today to speak to the one and only Shannon Michaela Jones, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. You have done so many amazing things. You are a fitness model acrobat. You are on Twitter. You have a YouTube channel that is blowing up. I think you just had a world record. Is that correct? And you have a very impressive resume. You're helping a lot of people, which honestly caught my attention about this whole food industry and health, biohacking. You're covering it all, and I'm so impressed by what you do and how you do it. And Shannon, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me here, Jesse. It's a pleasure to connect with you and chat more.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. And everybody that's tuned in live right now from the members only, appreciate you. And if you do have questions, obviously in real time, make sure to ask them. We'll try to get back to them. And if not, then we'll do that in the second podcast. Shannon, when did you start on this journey as a creator and inspiring the people and kind of like enlightening them about what they're eating and how they should change their life? Where did it all start for you, and what did you do?
Yeah, so I've always been like a creator and an artist, but I began quite young as a gymnast. So I spent most of my youth growing up doing gymnastics and circus and competing, and then when I turned 16, 17, I got really into contortionism. So I had this bodily awareness and picked up a bow and began practicing foot archery of all the skills. And then once I finished school, I began performing at different circuses and busking on the side of the road. So I would have this little table set up and be doing handstands at people and waving at people with my feet and grabbing notes with my toes and, just performing as a job. And then I was doing that for a few years when the pandemic hit. When I was brought home, obviously the whole arts industry was brutally crushed, and I went from being someone who didn't really care so much for technology to trying to create content, specifically short form videos. So that was maybe 2 years ago when I began my content creation journey on TikTok. And I would just post silly little circus tricks and little acrobatics moves and just the things that I used to perform on the stage and on the street just online, and built up this really amazing audience of like 1.2 million followers in 6 months, which was just insane to me because I'd gone from performing in front of 50 to 100 people to now having an audience of, I think at the time I was getting 30 million views a month on TikTok. So it just completely expanded my world. Yeah, crazy. And then I was doing that for a few months and I thought, well, I'm building this really awesome audience around my skills, but I want to connect more with people. I want to start sharing more of my beliefs and my philosophies. And the pandemic was a really big instigator to me just like waking up and questioning this system and this authority and, the woo-woo language, like the Matrix, So yeah, I began exploring my own journey and talking about, where is my food coming from? What is money? Like, just what is the system that we're living in, and sharing that online. So my content really evolved to become more than just about the circus. So yeah, it's been like a 2-year journey of content creation, a lifetime of training, and yeah, I'm still exploring and on my journey of learning about this world. You know?
What got you into this whole like helping people understand their food, and like where did that start? Because I know you did this. You started with the tricks, and then you became viral, and then now if I look at your page, you're creating a lot of awareness and like about important topics, and I'm like, wow. Like, what was that always like a thing for you? You always wanted to help people, or you would always, like, where did that come from?
Yeah, so 2 of my most viral videos actually weren't circus related at all. It was my first viral, super mega viral video was about feminism, titled "Feminism is a Scam," and just kind of exploring the roots of that movement and how they've evolved. And then my second viral video was about veganism, which is also veganism is a scam. So I was always pretty health conscious, being an acrobat and being in tune with my body. And then I, like many other people, went down the path of veganism because I thought it was, the most sustainable thing to do, the most health conscious thing to do, and inevitably wound up into being a little bit nutrient deficient and having all these weird like health issues that I didn't really correlate to my diet. So I thought I was doing the right thing. So I went through that journey, then on the other side, ended up at Western Price. This is such a long story, so I can just keep going. So I was vegan for a few years and then ended up discovering more of a Western Price style movement and way of eating, which is all about, quality animal products, sourcing local foods, and just eating like a nutrient dense diet. And yeah, that really helped heal a lot of the weird symptoms and side effects that I was experiencing. So I made that video and I started sharing it, and I've just done so much research about not only diet specifically, but like why it's so important to vote with your dollar and how much our individual choices actually can impact the world and make a difference. So yeah, I'm definitely a really, really big advocate for supporting local when possible, supporting certified organic practices so that we can be regenerating the soil, because it's obviously a major issue. And I know you've had guests on the show talk about this, but
shout out Wim Hof, the Iceman.
Yeah.
AKA look for the cold, don't let the cold look for you. Very, very important message, guys. Remember that one. Because ever since, and I'm sure you can relate, Shannon, ever since that I looked for the cold, I haven't been sick, really. I mean, maybe food poisoning here and then, traveling all over the world, but having a cold, like, or a flu, no. So,
you got a still immune system.
Oh, no. That's because I listened to the Iceman's advice. Ever since I've been, getting a better understanding about, like, hey, this is actually true. And you're also very involved in the cryptocurrency Web3 space. Could you kind of like touch on that, and for also the people that are listening right now that don't know the whole Web3 thing, like, just kind of like introduce them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the first thing that really got me questioning money was the pandemic, essentially. I mean, I went throughout school and I really didn't learn much about what money is. And, we entered this pandemic where things have just been tinted into oblivion. It's even harder for young people to buy houses, and yeah, I think when you begin questioning money, you realize that, fiat currency is probably not the most efficient way to be storing your money. But Yeah, I've just been learning so much about Web3, and I'm certainly at the very beginning of my journey. But yeah, as an artist, I was first drawn to NFTs, and then I began releasing my own one-of-ones, so just digital art. But yeah, I've also got a business on the side with my business partner, JPEG Culture, which is a media publishing platform in the Web3 crypto space that we're building out. So yeah, I think my primary focus is mostly like media and distribution. I can see the power in content creation. So by building out a media publishing platform, which is pulling all the best information and resources to help people on their Web3 money journey. That's what we've been focusing on.
That's incredible.
Yeah, to be a bit,
Yeah.
to be a bit wishy-washy.
So right now, your main thing is like the content creation, is it not? From what I see online. Yeah.
Yeah, my passion. I'm very feminine in my approach to my work. I love the content creation. I love the community, the connection, the creativity, the expression. And yeah, we've mainly honed in on that aspect of the Web3 community.
I like that. I hear you now speak about femininity and also in your content. I want to tap into that a little bit because I am very impressed, and I wonder, where did your realization of a traditional role or embracing your femininity, which a lot of women have lost, and by the way, the majority of the listeners right now are women, so I think a lot of them might have a different opinion, or actually I hope a lot of them can listen and maybe learn something from it, because a lot of things that you say are controversial in today's world, which in fact, in my opinion, it is not. And in fact, for most people, that's why you go viral so much. Like, you say things that are now, not so easily said. So could you tap into what is femininity to you, and how do you think a woman can embrace that as best as she can?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe that there's this huge distortion of the masculine and feminine dynamics in our society nowadays through the use of birth control, hookup culture. We have this like hyper independent women that is constantly pushed through media and through our society, and it's not really supportive of a woman's feminine nature. So there's so much that I could talk into there, but I'll start with maybe cycle syncing. Have you heard of cycle syncing before?
No.
So it's like tailoring your diet and your lifestyle to the phases of your cycle. So men and women have two completely different hormonal cycles. Men have a 24-hour hormone cycle, so their testosterone will rise in the morning and then fall in the evening, whereas women's hormonal cycle is approximately 28 days. So, they'll have weeks where they have more energy, and then, throughout the month will fade to when they have their bleed. So women, I think, biologically are not designed to be working the exact same way every single day and be on the grind or on the hustle in the same way that men are, because we don't have the same hormone profiles, we don't have the same energy levels. But when women are on birth control specifically, it suppresses your hormones so that you have more of a regular hormonal cycle, or it kind of mimics the male's biological hormone cycles. So as a result of that, we're able to, work more efficiently. We're able to keep up with the men and not really be in tune with our body's natural rhythms. And I believe that there's a way that we can sync our lifestyle to our hormonal cycles that isn't necessarily how the system is brought up for us at the moment.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And no, I think it's amazing. I think it's very important that you address this. Also, do you think we live, like, I already know, but I have to ask you this because people that don't follow you don't understand what you talk about. But let me state this. I think we are living in a degenerate society. And what do I mean with that? Well, I look around, and you just expressed hookup culture. I was actually out last night, I'm gonna even make it very recent. And and I don't usually go out, but I live in an environment that people and friends say, "Hey, come over, be social, and let's have a drink." And some drink a lot, some drink not so much. Like I drink 2 to 3 glasses. Okay, just for people that are like, "Oh my God, Jesse drinks me." Yes, I drink 2 glasses. You have a problem with that? Let me know. Go hate in my comments. Okay, so all right. So anyway, so I walk around there, and the aggression of women that are seeking to go to hook up, to go to sleep with me, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I have seen women that are interested. I've seen women approaching or sending a message or but to actually wanting one night stands, and I'm like, you are lost. You have lost your feminine essence. You have lost your understanding of how beautiful your flower is. And you are the flower, right? You open up for the man. You are receptive as the man inserts himself. And I want to say that it is significantly different for a male and a female because we're still exchanging energies when we get intimate. However, it is different, especially for a woman. And right now we live in a society where, oh no, we're equal. We can have as much sex as men have. We can have as much as, romantic partners. And you absolutely can. But now my question to you is, because you are aware of this, what does that do to your psyche, your hormonal balances and everything, your energy? What do you think?
I think it's this lie that women have been told, this sexual revolution, we can sit with any men, we don't need to treat sex as anything sacred is like one of the biggest lies. And it's so heartbreaking because you are exchanging such an intimate part of your energy, and hookup culture itself doesn't really benefit women. I don't think it benefits society as a whole so much. I mean, we tried it in the sexual revolution, we ended up with a lot of broken families and, single mothers, and we tried it on a scale it probably doesn't really work well. But out of men and women in this transactional experience, which is like one night stands, it really doesn't benefit women at all. Women take on most of the risks, and I think we've just been sold this lie that we don't need to value our sexual energy, when in reality it's like women get so angry at me when I say, men biologically get their value in a relationship with their ability to provide security, whether it's emotionally, physically, materially, and generally that comes with age. Whereas a lot of women's value comes in their fertility and their nurturing ability, and that often comes with youth. And people get so angry at me, and I would be angry too if you sold this lie and you spent your entire 20s and your 30s, hooking up, and then you get to 35 and you realize, oh gosh, my biological clock is ticking, and I've spent all these years with people who actually just see me as an object. And then you kind of get to that point and it's more about stress and men that you're after the younger women. So it's this really, really toxic cycle. But I think, more and more women are waking up and realizing that, wow, we actually do need to be respected. We are not transactional. We actually don't want to just be having these one night stands. What is actually more valuable is, raising a strong family and having this loving connection and community. And out of that hookup culture, really just expending and expelling your energy to people who don't value you at your core.
This touches me so much that I almost get emotional. It's because you're very accurate in what you say, and I'm so glad that you're touching on this as a woman, because first of all, a man would never be able to relate. He might have his opinion. Okay, who cares? What truly matters is people like yourself that are, in essence, embracing their femininity to its core and to what it is about, and understand that Hollywood, the West, the left-wing media wants you to have a different idea of who you are and what femininity is. And then everything that is opposite of that is your enemy. And then you start to watch the news, and you start to watch your television series, and you start to watch Netflix, and you start to think that Sex in the City, as an example, in the Kim K's, is actually what you should be doing, what is inspiring to many. And no, the woman that I'm speaking to right now is inspiring. And that's why I want to introduce you and also what you have to say to the women that are listening right now. And I do want to hear your opinion. If you are listening right now or you're watching this on YouTube, I want to hear from you. And again, this is an open conversation. Let us know your opinion. And let's have this discussion. But my discussion and my point is, I want to bring back values. I want to bring back morality. And when somebody like Shannon comes up and she's going viral, why do you think she's going viral? Because there's not many people like her that dare to speak up. Number one, a lot of people feel like this. Oh, we need strong leaders, male and female strong leaders. What is a strong leader? Or somebody that dares to speak up for the right thing, for God, for protection, for love. And then, now we live in a world that we can't even trust our school systems anymore. You're sending your kids to a school, they're indoctrinated by liberal agendas. So sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, because you made a really good point, like how we need strong leaders, both men and women. Like I talk about, how we need to bring back femininity and feminine women, and that obviously comes with a specific role, and traditional roles are fantastic. We don't have to, I'm not talking about, revoking back to the 50s housewife role. That's not what I'm saying at all. But, we're at this point where, women and men both have equal rights in the West is what I speak about, because that's where I'm living. That's where my audience is from. I'll talk about, what rights do men have that women don't, and people talk about, overseas things, and that's not what I'm speaking about at all. But and another point, women can't drop into their femininity and go into that role unless we have strong masculine men around us. It's the men that are the leaders, and it's the masculinity that's being attacked at the moment. So, in order for women to drop into a feminine, we need to have strong leaders that are providing, security, safety, an environment where, they can lead. There's so many women that are forced into their masculine energy and being decisive and taking on this hyper independent role because they don't have men around them that are stepping up. So yeah, I talk a lot about masculinity too, not just femininity, because it's we both kind of need each other in our very specific roles.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, we need each other. We are both good at different things, and it's okay to talk about that, and it's okay to accept that. And it's this is a topic that we should just dedicate one podcast on and really elaborate on, okay, what is it to be a man of high standards, a man of high value? How can you take care of your woman? How can you make her feel safe? How you can make her feel loved, right? And also being self-aware. Like there are men that are more feminine, more in their feminine, and that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. However, the woman has to be more in her masculine to compensate for that, right? So there's no right or wrong here. We're very inclusive, but we are also very honest. So we have to understand what is masculine energy, what is feminine energy, embrace that together, be self-aware. What can I bring to the table? What can I bring to the table? And then be the best version of yourselves together. Have a vision. You want to be a little bit more submissive as a man because you like your woman to be dominant? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know what I mean? So, but just don't create conflict about that, inner conflict, because then what happens? Then toxicity kicks in. whether it's toxic femininity or toxic masculinity.
I think the problem is when, like a woman, for example, a woman can be more masculine by nature, but if you are becoming more masculine in your habits as a result or as a trauma response to not feeling safe and supported by the people in your life, then that's where the issue lies.
Oh yes, 100%, 100%. And also,
but if you're naturally that way, no issue.
yeah, no, exactly. And that's why it's so important to really do that work and that assessment of like, okay, what am I? Am I dominant? Am I submissive? Maybe I like to switch, and it's also, I have that open conversation, and that's why I like that we can have it now as well. Shannon, I want to ask you, everybody that's listening right now,
how many people are listening?
We have right now.
Several or not several?
What? Well, we still have to see.
Okay,
we still have to upload it. It's not live. It's only live for our members only right now.
Cool.
So I want to ask you, what is your goal for the next 5 years?
What's my goal in the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just frozen for a minute. Can you still hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I'm in a really unique position where I can work myself. I'm still quite young. I'm 23, so I'm in this massive, learning journey at the moment. I'm developing my skills. My priorities are to be able to communicate well and to expand my knowledge and my creativity and my skill as a content creator. So that's the direction that I want to head in. But I think my, what I value is, family at the moment. Family, community. So over the next few years, I definitely want to establish that, and it's a high priority in my life and something I don't want to leave too late. So family's a goal. Obviously working on my own independent skills, like I just expressed, and then keep working on JPEG culture, so building out the media publishing platform.
Beautiful.
But I don't know. It'd be good to make an impact somehow.
And you are doing that. No, honestly, I want to.
It's just,
yeah.
I mean, I'm creating all these videos, and they are, helping spread these different messages out in short form content, which I think can be really effective in, sharing information and giving people little nuggets. Is that the word? To explore and do more of their own research. But I've got such an amazing community right now. It'd be good to, harness that energy and create more of a physical change in the world. So I don't know what that is or what direction that will go in, but some kind of social change, social cause, harnessing the community to do something. But I don't know what that is yet.
Lovely. Well, we're gonna do a lot more podcasts, so we're gonna keep track of that.
Good. Help me work on my communication. Because when you do short form content, you can form it sometimes.
We have a coaching
write every word correctly.
Yes, jessemeester.com. Book a call with me. No, I really appreciate you. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all the social media.
What is your ad?
Shannen Michaela.
Okay. It will be in the description as well if you want to follow her. And Shannon, I want to thank you so much for the first podcast together, and I really look forward to tapping into different topics, specifically on the next podcast. And we already tapped into a few of them just briefly. And there's a lot more to address and the importance of that. So in times like this, I look forward to that. Shannon, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for having me on, Jesse.
You've been listening to Life Talk with Jesse Meester. Thanks for listening to the show. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. And if you want to be the next guest, please apply by filling in the contact form on jessemeester.com or DM Meester Store on Instagram. Till next time, keep sharing love and life.